Hi. You might be looking at the title of this video and thinking, well, what's Andrea going to say about how many Tichels we should own? Obviously, since she has a store that sells Tichels, she's going to tell us to buy more, right? Wrong. I'm not going to do that. This video is not about amounts because every single woman has an amount of scarves that she should have in her collection that is healthy. And that could be 10 or that could be 10,000. Hopefully it's not 10,000, but if 10,000 works, that's what works. We want you, and I want you through this video to ask yourself some important questions and to eventually get to a place of health and joy with your Tichel collection. So I will say that our generation has a problem that we have too much stuff. And let's just get that on the table. Many of us work all day to make enough money to buy a lot of stuff that we don't need to fill our houses and apartments with a whole bunch of clutter that just stresses us out. And the point is that Hashem, our creator, put us in this world to enjoy the physicality around us. We are meant to do beautiful things and bring joy to ourselves and people around us through the physical things that surround us. So we aren't meant to not own stuff, but we're certainly not meant to be constrained and stressed out and anxious by the amount of stuff that we own. So where is that happy medium, and how can we arrive there through our Tichel collection, and how can we do this mitzvah with joy and so much love? So let's first say that many of us have Tichel collections that are pretty large, but we often gravitate to a certain amount of scarves that is much less than what our actual collection is. And we often actually feel constrained by this because there are holes in our scarf collection, that there are things that we need that we don't feel fit in, but we have all these other scarves that we should be wearing that we're not wearing. So the first thing we want to do is really get rid of or give new homes to the scarves that you don't wear. And don't feel bad about it. If a scarf looked good on me or another model and you got it and it's just not working for you, don't force yourself to make it work for you. Don't feel bad about it. Really say, like, you know what? This is not for me, and it's going to serve its purpose belonging to someone else. And find out if there's a woman in your community that's in need of scarves, or donate them to a thrift store. And many of us shop at thrift stores, so someone else will be able to find it, and it will, God willing, be her. So, oh my gosh, I forgot what I was going to say. You really want to look at your Tichel collection and feel excited. You want to feel the potential of this beautiful mitzvah. You want to be excited and be able to put things together and enjoy doing it. You do not want to feel overwhelmed, nor do you want to feel a lack and constrained. So once you get rid of those tichels that don't suit you, you will very likely begin to see the holes in your collection, the things that you wish you had, the fillers. For example, for me, having this gold headband in some different colors was very important because it's one of my most worn accessories. Having some accessories that were certain colors or sequins that I actually don't wear, I needed to get rid of. So really ask yourself, what do I wear the most, and what do I enjoy the most, and do I need to, go within those confines and expand my collection there? For me, for example, I have a lot of Lakeshore Bliss Tichels. Tons of them. I don't think I have all of them, but I have definitely, about probably 75% of the colors. In terms of shimmeries and saris, I actually don't have that many, but the Lakeshore Blisses, I know personally that when I'm running out the door or need a really quick morning routine, those are the scarves that I wear most often, and having a good color variety gives me a lot of freedom. And when I want to do something fancier, they work really well as a base scarf, and then I can add what I want to it. So ask that of yourself. What do I wear most? What brings me the most pleasure? And are there any holes in terms of that for me to fill that out? You'll want to look at your collection and really ask myself, does this bring me joy? And if it doesn't, you'll want to rearrange how you display your scarves. You want your options to reflect who you are, not someone else. You don't want to look at your collection and say, hey, that would look really good on someone else, but that doesn't look good on me. If you feel that way, get rid of whatever makes you feel that way. You want to look at your collection and see you. Personally, you all know this about me, I love the color teal. And I had this thing when we first opened the store that I was like, you know what, I'll have my basic teal scarves, but too much teal, too much of a good thing, I'm not going to get teal scarves. I'll get all these other colors. I'll get orange and purple and pink and all these things. And eventually I realized I just wasn't wearing those scarves. I kept going back to the teal scarves. So right now I have no shame in the fact that if I'm going to get a new scarf, it's probably going to be teal. Because that's the color I love, and those are my most worn scarves. So really be honest and just own who you are and love who you are, and don't be ashamed of who you are. You're here and you have your infinite potential, and you don't want to be someone else. So this video is not going to combat the problem of shopping addictions and tichel addictions, because the truth is that there is such thing as too many tichels, and there is such thing as creating a shalom bayit issue with your tichels. The reason why we started Wrapunzel was to bring joy to women and bring joy to marriages through this beautiful mitzvah of covering your hair. If your marriage is suffering because of the fact that you are buying tichels, then we have a problem. And while I don't know the extent of, if anyone has these issues, you'll know yourself if you have these issues, and really then you have to, really internally ask yourself, what is the point of me buying these tichels? Whenever you make a purchase, you have to come from a place of health. Ask yourself, is this healthy? Is this a good place? Is this going to allow me to serve my Creator and honor myself and honor my marriage and bring joy to the people around me? Is this going to give me options and give me joy, or is this going to make me feel overwhelmed and constrained? And really ask yourself those questions. Be honest with yourself, and you'll be surprised at the answer. When I make purchases and ask myself, sometimes I actually realize that, I need to buy a little more. And other times I realize, this is not coming from a good place. This is coming from my Yetzer Hara. This is coming from an evil inclination. And I'm trying to fill a void right now with shopping. And that's not good. I'm not going to be serving my Creator through this purchase. So really always remember that we were put in this world by our Creator to enjoy the physicality around us, to enjoy the beautiful things that our Creator has given us, to create with the physicality around us. And hair covering is no exception. You really want to look at your collection and feel that potential, feel that excitement, feel that joy. But you do not want to feel overwhelmed. You don't want to feel anxious. You don't want to feel like, I have too much stuff, I don't even know what I have. I have so much, I don't know what I have. What that number is of how much you should own is going to change for everyone. I know a woman whose whole bedroom is literally covered in scarves. And I say literally, really literally. She has all these tension rods everywhere, and everything is displayed and draped beautifully, and she has this mind where she just knows everything that she has, and she's always putting these combinations together in her head, and it's just beautiful and wonderful, and it's amazing. And she has a very healthy amount of scarves for her. For someone else, that would be a very unhealthy amount, because it would be overwhelming, it would be constraining. You wouldn't be feeling freedom and joy if you had that amount of scarves. For some people, they have too little. They feel a lack, they feel despondent, they don't feel freedom through the scarves that they have. So if that's the case, you really need to ask yourself, what holes do I need to fill? And again, if financial constraints are a worry, you can write to us. That's why we started the Wrapunzel Foundation. But you really need to ask yourself, is this healthy? And that's really the point of this video, is I'm not going to go on some consumeristic environmentalist rant. Those are from my teenage years. But I do want to say that, your stuff and the things that you own should come from a place of health. They should give you options. They should give you joy. They should give you pleasure. And they should give pleasure to the people around you. And while I'm no expert on this, my husband and I are actually reading books on home organization right now and how to make our lives more joyous through what we own. I do know this about my scarves, and I do know what it feels like to look at your collection. And I have a little scarf closet that I open up, and I know that sigh of joy and relief and options, and be able to just pick them out and put them together oh so beautifully. I also know the stress of having too little. When I go on vacation, I tend to give away all my scarves to people, especially when I go to Israel, and by the end I have only 3 scarves left, and it's not a fun experience for me. I also know the feeling of having too much. When we first opened the store, I had all these old scarves, and I just wasn't wearing them. I was just keeping them for whatever reason, and I went through them. I was like, you know what, this is going to suit someone else beautifully. I found out if there was a woman in my community that might not have the financial means to afford scarves, and I gave them to her. And now it just brings me so much pleasure when I see those other women wearing my scarves that I used to have, and they look so beautiful on them. So that's the message in terms of buying scarves. You want to come from a place of health when purchasing anything. And you really want to ask yourself when buying anything, but especially buying something to perform a mitzvah, will this object serve me and allow me to bring light and joy to myself and to the people that are closest to me and to the world around me? Will this object serve to do that? Can I reveal light through this object? How will this enhance my life, and how will this fit into my life? Is there a place for this? And if the answer is yes, then go for it, and go for it with joy. We don't want people buying from us from a place of guilt. We don't want, chas v'shalom, God forbid, shalom bayit, to be destroyed by women who are buying too many scarves. Like, if that's what's happening, no, really, really have that honest conversation with yourself and try to buy things from a place of health and beauty and joy to enhance your life and to enhance this beautiful mitzvah. I hope this video answers your questions, and please let me know your thoughts. Kol tuv, all the best. Bye-bye.